team at Inverleigh. We're the mighty fighting Hawks.
Good morning and welcome again to the GDFL Footy Show, coming to you out of a Saturday morning. And boy, are things hotting up now with the GDFL footy really in top gear at the moment as we go through the second half of the season, heading towards the finals. Last Saturday saw a big round of matches, and out at the Keith Barclay Oval, the North Geelong Magpies, far too good for the East Geelong Eagles, with Jamie Pittman continuing on his sensational form for the 2015 season with 10-goal haul. Antigui, too good for Geelong West, with Rickard kicking 7 goals. Belpost Hill, well, too good for the Werribee Central's boys. Justin Tarr back in the goal kicking again with 5 goals. The Belmont Lions, well, they were too good for the Tommy Tykes, and our floor manager is pretty excited about that. Winchelsea, well, they had their first win for the season at the expense of the Corio Devils. And the Inverleigh Hawks, well, they were too good for Bannockburn. Hello, I'm Dick Philpott, and once again I've assembled some of the biggest names and brains in country football to eradicate, adjudicate, communicate, but definitely not procrastinate. And the very first man needs absolutely no introduction, but I'll still introduce him anyway. He is the mayor without the hair, hashtag giddy up himself, former Thompson legend and president, life member. Good morning, John Mitchell.
Good morning, Dick, and I would have thought it was heating up, not hotting up.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, yeah. I
thought I'd correct you early.
I failed English at school and graduated in Japanese, so
obviously
I'm a little bit behind. Now, how can I beat that? I've got to introduce Grubby now with a great big haul of names now. He is, of course, the man from the Werribee Central's Footy Club. He is a life member and he's a former president of the Werribee Centurions. Good morning, Richard Grubby Cations.
Hey, good morning, boys, and good morning, viewers. And a very good morning to the boys and the girls from Snakes and Ladders. You ever heard of Snakes and Ladders?
I used to play it. Well, I still play it.
Ross and Nora, beautiful people.
So explain what Snakes and Ladders.
I worked with them the other week. Ross, he's a bit mad. He goes around the territory chasing snakes, the idiot. And then relocating them and then going from them again.
Is that the name of his business, Snakes and Ladders?
Snakes and Ladders. Chops down trees, looks for snakes. Great people. Great people.
That's all. And of course, we beat this, folks. And of course, he is the #1 ticket holder of the Belmont Lions. The mums love him. He talks Colts footy later in the show. Our regular panel member, Alex Tigani. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Dick. No snakes on my end, but ready to talk some footy throughout this morning's edition.
What about goats?
Oh, we'll get to that soon. I know what you're on about.
Did you see that? In Lithuania,
I did.
They have a beauty pageant to find the most attractive goat in the village.
Don't tell me Alex won that.
No, I think he comes second.
Yeah, top 5.
But apparently they put a special pair of pants on the front of them. And they reckon they look absolutely sensational, and their head looks exactly like a goat. So I don't know who the best one is. Unbelievable. Anyway, after the big game last week of Inverleigh and Bannockburn, the 94.7 match of the day, Grubby caught up with the successful, undefeated coach of the Inverleigh Hawks, Mark McDowell.
Good on you, thanks, mate. And we're here now with the winning coach out here in an absolutely epic struggle today. Probably the best game of GDFL footy I've seen for the year. And both sides did their chances, no harm. And with the winning coach, Mark McDowell, mate, you didn't quite kick as straight as you would like to, and you had a few out. And out here at Bannockburn, past Players' Day, that's as good a win as you've had all year, I reckon.
Oh, there's no doubt that's been our best win by far. You know, we come out here and we're a bit stretched in terms of resources on the ground, but the boys that come in obviously done a fantastic job. And look, it was just a character-building win.
Yeah, I reckon too. And I notice you've got the board in your hand. When can we see the names Hybens, Anderson, Seed and young Dalton Grundell back?
Well, Dalton will definitely be back next week. Ando will be back next week. There's 2 for sure. Jimmy won't be back, and I would say Matty Seed would only be 50-50 at best.
Okay, so you got 2 of them back. And look, when you lose 2 big blokes, like Dalton Grundle does a lot of work in the ruck. I tell you what, I don't know how you blokes vote, but I gave de Blasio best on the ground for a massive performance in the ruck from a bloke who's not a natural ruckman.
No, look, that's a great comment because I knew bringing Dibber in, he'll give you 110% effort. In the first half, I thought he was a bit shaded. In the last half, when they stopped jumping, he just kept ploughing in and ploughing away and got the job done for us, playing against some quality ruckmen.
Well, he did, and then they put Jordan Burke in, and I thought, he's trouble because he'll run and take marks around the ground, but under de Blasio's wing, he didn't do that.
No, look, Dibber will follow instructions. He'll get the physical pressure on, and that's what we wanted to do with Jordan Burke. If he went into the ruck, that we just needed to get physical pressure on him, and we knew Dibber would do that.
You blokes, I reckon, have flown under the radar for the simple fact is everybody's just waiting for Belpost Hill and North to come back and say, here we are. I know coaches don't like to say this, but at 11-0, you would have to be just about premiership favourites at this stage.
Oh, look, I'm happy to cop that. I said, I think someone said earlier in the week about how do you manage all the expectations. I said expectations are great because what expectations do means that everyone's got hope and everyone works harder and puts in more effort on the track and everywhere around the club. So no worries having the expectations.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Just one more thing on the game. I thought it was very physical. It was very niggly. There was a few, no real nasty incidents, but a lot of niggle. And yet after the game, instead of the obligatory handshake, there was a lot of hugs and that. There's a lot of hate out here, but there's a lot of love for each other as well.
Look, I think that, you're trying to do whatever you can to get your opponent off the game, whether that's react to a niggle and give a free kick away, whatever that is, that's part tactic of the game. But when two sides go head-to-head like that and hard like that all day, I think each player gets respect for each other.
Mate, I reckon, as I said, it was the best game I've seen all year. I reckon you're the best side I've seen so far, but we're still a long way from home. All the best for next week against North. It's going to be a ripper. We'll be out there again to see you. Hopefully we're having a chat in here next Saturday night, and all the best for the rest of the year, mate. Thanks.
Good on you, Grubby. Thanks, mate.
Well, I wonder if Mark McDowell will still have a smile on his face after this afternoon. It's going to be a big one this afternoon. We'll talk about that game a little bit later on. But, Grubby, I'll go to you because you were at the game last week. You did the call.
Yeah, I did.
About time you turned up for a change.
Yeah, it was. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad
Close.
I did. I'm glad I did because it was one of the best games of footy I've seen for the year. The pressure was just finals pressure. You get that extra pressure, Mitch, in finals and that.
Yeah.
Well, both sides applied it, and Bannockburn had done their chances no harm, I can tell you, because even though they didn't come away with the 4 points, they were very, very good.
How was the umpiring, Grubby?
Umpire was terrific, actually,
go. That's
except for Steve Keaton, the old mongrel, but no, I shouldn't say that, he's a mate of mine. No, umpiring was very, very good, actually, very good.
Bannockburn must be a little better than what we thought, Grubby.
Well, they are, and I just reckon Goffey, he said they weren't quite where he wanted them to be, and they're still not. And he's still not 100% sure whether they'll be that good this year. Hopefully next year. But I think they're a little bit ahead of what he thought they were. I think they're going all right.
Without jumping in for this afternoon's big clash, can you believe, are they acceptable now for a loss?
Well, if you ask this Galar here, what did he say on the hashtag giddy up? Every win you have's closer to a loss.
That's exactly right.
I can't see that, but every team's susceptible to a loss, especially against sides like North Geelong who are right up the top there, so it could go either way. Yeah.
Today will be the first loss they have, Dick. I'm on the Maggies.
We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll show you the goal kicking, we'll show you the league ladder, and also Alex will be doing the Colts, and we've got a very special guest from the umpires back after this.
We come together, the best from all the league, to show them how to play and form a mighty team. The pride of our region with all our favourite sons.